Yo, it's Trey Trizzy, been busy and I'm back at it like a crack addict with another video. Today, we're going to be discussing the murder rate versus the murder count because they get that shit misconstrued and they try to distract us with the murder rate versus what the murder count really is in a lot of these cities. So, I just put some of the toughest cities and I pulled up their real murder count and I compared them all to each other, like the top of the cities. So, number one, we got, Philadelphia. I ain't got them in no chronological order from which bad or not. It's just we got Philadelphia at 266 according to police as of December 31st. That's their murder. That's how many murders they done committed in 2024. 266 Philadelphia. Keep that in y'all head. But let's dive into this video real quick. See what they talking about.
Every 2 hours and 57 minutes, a person was shot in Chicago in 2024, and every 14 hours and 25 minutes, a person was murdered, with Chicago seeing a total of 609 murders in 2024. And the police only had a 21% clearance rate, and most of these murders were either caused by headshots or torso shots. And Austin, Inglewood, and Grand Crossing were leading for having the most homicides in that area. Yo, everybody, it ain't.
So yeah, y'all heard them. Austin, Grand Crossing, Inglewood, them the worst parts of Chicago. Me myself is from the Grand Crossing area. Yes, Austin the west side and Inglewood that's the side of where Lil Durk from basically, type shit. But yeah, I'm just giving y'all a dive preview into the murder rate of Chicago, which you heard him say 602. I binged it and got the results what they say on Bing. By the way, I'm gonna show y'all that on what it say on Bing, and we're gonna dive into that. But 602 murders in Chicago versus Philadelphia, which is probably like the closest that's gonna get to Chicago with 266. Chicago 602. Let's get into this next slide. Now we got New Orleans, another tough, place to grow up and shit. They 2024. Let's see what it's looking like. Uh, so they had 143 in 2024. So New Orleans has 143 murders in 2024. But these are one of the cities that get compared to Chicago with their murder rate. But you got to pay attention to the murder count. And I know a lot of people gonna say like, well, they places are smaller, but you got to look at Chicago. Like Chicago is smaller too. They going off Chicago, Illinois, and then they going off the whole population. But the population that's doing the murdering and shit is real small. We have a huge Caucasian population over here. We have a huge population of other races that just don't do nothing at all, and they just here. So they just making it look good to be like it's a huge population versus murder, so the murder rate is look down versus other places. But in reality, the places where the murder's going on that is a small group. Like it's shit. If you ever lived in Chicago, it's the red line all the way from the end, then connect to like the green and blue line. Like it's that section going all the way to the end of the red line. That's really all the killing going on. That like shit. Like take like 95th, nothing against the hundreds and shit, because the hundreds get wild too. But if you was to just cut off the hundreds and take 95th and go all the way down to the west side, that ain't that big. That's small. That's smaller than a lot of these places, and that's what a lot of these murders is going on. That as y'all just heard in the video, Grand Crossing, Inglewood, and Austin. That's where all the murders going on. At. I'm pretty sure that area has way more murders, than this alone. But let's get into our next slide. So yeah, this another slide of showing basically this the murder rate of the states. As you've seen, Louisiana. That's why I pulled up New Orleans. I'm gonna be showing Baton Rouge as well because New Orleans and Baton Rouge is supposed to be like the two highest, crime places in New Orleans. So I pulled all that up. Got all these places. So this is a murder rate, by the way. This is homicides per 100,000 people by year. It do hit different, but yeah, as you can see, the highest murder rate in the United States is found Washington D.C. with 23.7 homicides per 100,000. Mississippi with the highest state level homicide rate, and Birmingham with 72.8 murders per 100,000 people. And as you can see at the bottom, Chicago, Illinois with the most murders overall. It do hit different. Baton Rouge, where NBA YoungBoy from, where Boosie from and shit. They got 113 homicides in 2024. So if you compare New Orleans homicides with Baton Rouge homicides, it's not even half of what Chicago homicides is. And this is like the games they like to play with covering up the murder rate. It's just like they do with like EBT or food stamps and shit like that. They be like it's a higher percentage rate of black people on it, but then like it's if you check out the percent, if you go into the the fraction of it, like how many people per population, you will see that other races benefit from EBT and all that more than black people. We just got a higher percentage, but we got a low population in the United States. But yeah, you can see Baton Rouge has 113 homicides in 2024. It do hit different. Then you got Memphis. Memphis is 296 homicides in Memphis, down from 397 last year. Oh, that's a big improvement, 100 less murders. But yeah, like it's 296 still. It's damn near getting to half of what Chicago is. It's probably gonna be this, and Philadelphia might be the closest it come. But these are the murder counts for these places. I'm reviewing all the the highest, the toughest places it is to grow up at. Here we go again with California, another tough place to grow up at. I come to find out, I'm thinking Compton or something would be like the highest murder cap, or whatever over there. Is really Commerce. So I had to dive into Commerce and see what was going on into Commerce, and this is what I could find. In 2023, Commerce, with a population of 10,851, had a violent crime rate of 12.21 per thousand residents and a property crime rate of 103.46 per thousand, both notably high. So basically, if you do like 12, times 10, which is like almost 200, that's like around the murders that they get in that ballpark, 200, murders. Like, you see these numbers compared to a 500 and some or 600 and some, like murder rate. So last but not least, Chicago murder rate. And let me say to you that the video was right. When I checked this shit a few days ago, it was saying 600 and something. Now it's saying 573. And you know what's even more strange is when I used to search up the murder count on Google, I never could find it. It took me to start searching up on Bing. And then now I got the murder count for all these places. I searched the murder count for all these places on Google and could barely find it. It's easier to find these murder counts on Bing because they're making it hard for us to see the actual murder count. Actually, a year ago when I was trying to check this, I couldn't find a murder count at all. They don't even really like to release the actual murder count, which is crazy. But yeah, they release it, but they make it hard for us to find. So that's gonna wrap up the slide. Just wanted to give y'all a insight on the murder rates and versus the murder counts, because a lot of people be saying this place, got a higher murder rate than Chicago. Woo, woo, woo. Chicago is crazy out here. The area where the murder rate or the murder count is happening at is very small. So like that's 573 or 602, whichever one it really is still ridiculously high. Moral of the story: don't believe in the murder rate. You got to pay attention to the murder count. It's your boy Trey Tracy. Been busy. I'm gonna ask y'all to like, comment, subscribe. I'm about to help.